The fall of the mighty Roman Empire, the once beating heart of the known world, remains one of the most studied, debated, and fascinating chapters in human history. At its height, the empire spanned 3 continents, boasted a formidable military machine, and fused a dazzling array of diverse cultures. How, then, did this seemingly invincible entity come to an end? For centuries, this question has captivated scholars and historians, inspiring countless theories and interpretations. We will delve into the intricate web of causes behind Rome's decline, recognizing that its fall was not the result of a single event, but rather a complex interplay of military, political, economic, and social transformations unfolding over several centuries. From relentless barbarian invasions to internal decay fueled by political corruption, from the challenges of governing vast territories to profound religious shifts, the collapse of Rome was not a sudden catastrophe, but a gradual process that fundamentally reshaped the world. The Roman Empire was renowned for its extraordinary expansion, which brought under its control immense territories across Europe, Africa, and Asia. At its peak, the Roman state stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the Arabian Sea, and from Britain to Egypt. This unprecedented geographic reach was achieved primarily through a series of military conquests, strategic alliances, and the imposition of Roman law and administrative systems on conquered lands. The Roman army was a highly organized force, famed for its discipline, tactical prowess, and engineering achievements. Roman legions, composed of well-trained citizen soldiers, formed the backbone of imperial military power. Equipped with advanced weaponry, employing superior strategies, and benefiting from a unique organizational structure, they conquered diverse peoples and lands. Yet this colossal expansion had a downside. As the empire grew, governing and defending it became increasingly difficult. Administering such vast territories demanded significant human resources and an efficient communication network, both of which grew harder to maintain as the empire expanded. Moreover, sustaining a large-scale military presence placed a tremendous burden on the Roman economy. The costs of defending the empire's extensive frontiers against external threats and quelling internal uprisings were enormous. Over time, these expenditures significantly contributed to the economic difficulties that would later plague Rome. Additionally, Rome's vast borders left it vulnerable to various barbarian tribes, leading to more frequent and intense attacks. Although the Roman army remained a formidable force, its forces, stretched thin across a massive territory, struggled to repel repeated invasions, especially when they occurred simultaneously in multiple frontier regions. As the empire expanded, it faced not only challenges of governance and defense, but also mounting economic pressures that began to erode its foundations. These economic troubles, compounded by an excessive reliance on slave labor, played a significant role in Rome's ultimate downfall. The cost of maintaining an empire of Rome's scale was immense. It had to fund a massive army, public works, and administrative expenses across its sprawling territories. As military expansion slowed, so did the influx of wealth and slaves from conquered lands, leading to financial strain. Rome attempted to compensate by heavily taxing its citizens, which in turn fueled widespread discontent and further exacerbated economic hardship. !at META, quote, pause, quote, colon, quote, sex, quote, colon, 2.0. Furthermore, Rome suffered from severe inflation, particularly during the 3rd century CE, a period known as the crisis of the 3rd century. The Roman currency, the denarius, underwent extreme devaluation due to overproduction, causing prices for goods and services to skyrocket. Slavery was another critical issue contributing to Rome's decline. The Roman economy depended heavily on slaves for everything from domestic chores to hard labor in fields and mines. Conquered peoples were the primary source of new slaves, so as territorial expansion waned, so too did the supply of enslaved labor. This over-reliance on slavery had several damaging consequences for Roman society and the economy. It discouraged technological innovation, as cheap slave labor eliminated the incentive to develop more efficient production methods. Moreover, as the supply of slaves dwindled, large tracts of farmland lay fallow, leading to a decline in agricultural output. An empire as vast as Rome required a strong, stable political structure to manage its immense territory. Unfortunately, the empire suffered from deep-seated political corruption and instability, especially in its later centuries. This political decay not only weakened Rome's internal cohesion, but also diminished its capacity to respond effectively to external threats. From the late 2nd century CE onward, the Roman Empire descended into a chronic leadership crisis. It was plagued by bitter power struggles, political assassinations, and military coups. Emperors were often chosen by the army rather than through established political or dynastic succession, resulting in frequent and often ineffective changes in leadership. Many of these rulers lacked the skills or vision needed to govern such a vast empire. During the crisis of the 3rd century, Rome experienced an unprecedented turnover of emperors. More than 20 claimants ascended the throne in just 50 years, most of them military generals who seized power by force. This era of chaos and political instability led to a lack of continuity and coherent policy, making it extremely difficult to address the empire's growing challenges effectively. Alongside political instability, corruption became rampant. Government offices were frequently bought and sold, allowing wealthy elites to manipulate state institutions for personal gain. Tax collectors, for example, often abused their authority to amass personal fortunes, worsening economic instability and eroding public trust in imperial institutions. Moreover, many emperors resorted to the strategy of bread and circuses, distributing free grain and public entertainment to distract the populace from the empire, deepening problems. This practice not only drained the imperial treasury, but also fostered a culture of dependency and complacency among citizens, weakening their willingness to engage in constructive civic action. External threats posed a constant challenge to the Roman Empire, especially from various barbarian tribes living on the fringes of its vast territories. These invasions and migrations significantly destabilized the empire and ultimately led to the fall of the Western Roman Empire. The term barbarians was used by Romans to describe peoples beyond the empire's borders who did not share Roman customs or speak Latin. The most prominent among them were Germanic tribes such as the Visigoths, Ostrogoths, Vandals, and Franks, as well as the Huns from Central Asia. These groups were drawn to Rome's wealth and civilization, often triggering waves of invasion and migration into imperial territory. Sex. Rome had faced barbarian threats before, but the intensity of attacks increased dramatically in the empire's later centuries, particularly during the 4th and 5th centuries CE. The Roman army, already overstretched and preoccupied with internal turmoil, struggled to defend the empire's extensive frontiers against these persistent incursions. Importantly, the migration of these groups was not always hostile. Many sought to settle within the empire, borders attracted by Rome's relative stability and prosperity. However, the Romans often failed to integrate these newcomers effectively, leading to cultural clashes, social tensions, and further strain on imperial resources. The Visigothic sack of Rome in 410 CE under Alaric was a stark symbol of the empire's waning control. The final blow came in 476 CE, when Odoacer, a Germanic king, deposed Romulus Augustulus, the last Roman emperor in the West. As Rome grappled with mounting internal and external pressures, Emperor Diocletian made a pivotal decision in 286 CE that profoundly shaped the empire's future. He divided it into two halves. This division was intended to make governing the vast territory more manageable and to respond more effectively to multiple threats. While it provided short-term relief, it also laid the groundwork for a deep rift that would prove decisive in the fall of the Western Roman Empire. The empire was split into the Western Roman Empire, with its capital in Rome, and the Eastern Roman Empire, centered in Byzantium, later Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul. In theory, both halves were equal. In practice, however, the East, rich in trade routes and possessing a thriving economy, soon became far more prosperous than the West. The West bore the brunt of barbarian invasions and had weaker economic foundations. While the Western Empire struggled with invasions and financial woes, the Eastern Empire not only survived but flourished, eventually evolving into the Byzantine Empire. Moreover, the division weakened the sense of a unified Roman identity and further undermined imperial cohesion. It created an imbalance of power that often led to disagreements and conflicts between the two halves, making the empire more vulnerable both internally and externally. The fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE, marked by the deposition of the last emperor by the Germanic king Odoacer, signaled the end of Roman rule in the West. Meanwhile, the Eastern Roman, or Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive, preserving a form of Roman governance for nearly another 1,000 years. Although Rome's decline was primarily driven by internal weaknesses, external factors, including environmental changes, also played a significant role. Rome's expansion and intensive agriculture placed enormous strain on its environment. Deforestation, soil erosion, and over-farming reduced agricultural productivity across many regions. At the same time, the empire's population had grown so large that feeding it became increasingly difficult, especially as crop yields declined. Beyond internal challenges, the empire also faced external pressures that accelerated its decline. One such factor was climate change during the period of imperial weakening. The climate grew noticeably colder and more unpredictable, creating additional hardships for agriculture. This made it even harder to feed Rome's vast population. Climate shifts also rendered some regions less habitable, triggering intensified migration. As a result, barbarian tribes moved en masse into the warmer, more prosperous lands within the empire's borders. Simultaneously, the empire confronted other external threats, such as devastating epidemics. A striking example is the plague of Justinian, which erupted in the 6th century CE. This catastrophic outbreak decimated the population, inflicted massive damage, and further undermined the empire's social and economic foundations. It is crucial to understand that while these external factors certainly contributed to Rome's fall, they were not its root causes. Rather, they acted as catalysts, intensifying pre-existing internal problems, economic distress, political instability, and relentless military pressure that were already eroding the empire from within. Thus, the story of Rome's fall stands as a powerful reminder of the inherent fragility of even the mightiest and most enduring political entities. It underscores the critical importance of sound economic, political, and social policies, and warns of the dangers of overextension, internal decay, and corruption. Above all, it teaches us that the ability to adapt to ever-changing circumstances is essential for any state's survival and prosperity.